Now, I've got a guest, Seun Ajidagba, a cricket expert, and of course, he gives us all the updates and everything we need to know about these ladies, the junior female yellow greens, and of course, what hopes do we have when this tournament eventually kicks off for Nigeria? Because it has kicked off already. Nigeria was meant to play their first game today, but that game was not able to go on as planned because of the wet field. So we look forward to the next game against New Zealand and then South Africa to see if we stand a chance to qualify for the next stage of the tournament, because the points have already been shared between Samoa and, of course, the Yellow Greens of Nigeria. Thank you very much, Seun Ajidagba, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Udoka. It's a pleasure joining you on your show in the game on News Central Television, and I say Happy New Year to you. Good morning.
Happy New Year to you, and of course 2025 has promised to be a great year for sports in the country. Let's talk about what went on between Nigeria and Samoa. Of course, we know that there was a case of weather issues. The field was wet. That game couldn't go on as planned, but the points have been shared among Samoa and Nigeria.
Well, it's disappointing to a lot of Nigerians because we would have loved to see Lucky Piety lead out our troops against another debutant in Samoa. But unfortunately, we have to share the spoils. Like you rightly stated, that in this tournament, which is the second edition of the female under-19 T20 competition, this will be the first time Nigeria will be participating. The first edition happened in South Africa, who coincidentally are in our group alongside New Zealand. But unfortunately, we could not play against another debutant in Samoa. In this tournament, we have 4 teams who are making their debut at the tournament. Nepal, Malaysia, the host, Nigeria, and of course Samoa. And the more painful part is that Samoa will feel happy that they got a result against Nigeria, because no disrespect to Samoa, I was expecting that Nigeria was going to begin a campaign on a winning note, beating this Samoa side. But because of rain, that game could not go ahead as planned. And as I speak to you, a game has just ended in our group. It's a T20 competition, but unfortunately, they could not even play the entire 20 overs because of the rain. And so the umpires had to say they should have a reduced over. And that was the game between South Africa and New Zealand. The game just ended with South Africa beating New Zealand by 22 runs. It was an 11 overs game as against a 20 overs game. So it was the South Africans that batted first, and they scored 91 runs in that 11 overs. But unfortunately, their opponent, New Zealand, got stuck on 69 runs, and that gave South Africa that victory. Udoka, it's imperative to state that this tournament, we have 16 teams, and 41 matches will be played. The competition started today, and it will end, all other things being equal, on the 2nd of February, which is a Sunday of 2025. And the maiden edition, like I told you, happened in South Africa. Unfortunately, Nigeria could not qualify. The only 2 African representatives that qualified then was South Africa, expectedly by virtue of their status as a test-playing country, and the other one who qualified through the qualifier was Rwanda. And that same Rwanda was the team Nigeria beat in the semi-final of last year's qualifier that happened in Rwanda to get eventually a ticket when they played against Zimbabwe in the final. So India are the defending champion. They defeated England in the maiden edition, and in their own group, which is Group A, we have India, we have Malaysia, who are the hosts, Sri Lanka, and of course West Indies. That's a relatively tight group. And of course in Group B, losing finalists England, Ireland, Pakistan, and USA. England has defeated the Irish team in a convincing fashion. It was a cakewalk for them. And of course, in Group C, where Nigeria found herself, I've told you about our group tournament. And in Group D, Australia, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Scotland. I just told you that Australia defeated Scotland also in their own game. So we are looking forward to Monday, where we'll be playing against New Zealand, who had lost their game just some minutes ago. And that game will come up at the Borneo Cricket Ground in Sarawak, 3:30 a.m. Nigerian time. And so you want to wish the girls all the very best because our preparation has been good. It all started from Edo Benin City, Unugbowo, where they had an high performance center. Yeah. And then they moved to Lagos on the 23rd of December to get their traveling plans to India sorted out. And they played some friendly matches against a selected male team. Yes, they lost every game, but the coach, Sarah Bakita Wetoto, one of the finest batters in West Africa, said there were a lot of lessons that was learned from playing against male teams that were stronger than they were. They gave it a run for their money. And they traveled to India. That was on the 3rd of January. They went to the regular Omtex Cricket Academy. And what you are showing on your screen is where they were having training sessions. And they played a friendly game against the Omtex Cricket Academy on the 19th side, their female team. They defeated them by 5 wickets before they crossed over to Malaysia, where they played 2 friendly matches that was organized by the International Cricket Council. And I'm talking about the game against Pakistan.
Pakistan and Scotland.
Monday, and they now only lost that game by 11 runs. Pakistan are ranked 8th. They are a test-playing country, and they have a higher ranking and a better status than Nigeria. But Nigeria actually gave them a run for their money. It was a game Nigeria should have won, but unfortunately, we actually lost that game. And so, on Wednesday, the ladies bounced back against a 14th place Scotland, and they won them convincingly by 7 wickets. And so, we were thinking that they are going to get a game today, but unfortunately, that game did not go ahead as planned. And so we look forward to Monday, where we'll be facing our opponent, New Zealand. New Zealand, at the maiden edition, Udoka, it must be stated that they got to the semi-final of that competition before they eventually lost out. They are facing a highly placed team.
You know, talking about New Zealand, now I would have actually loved for that game between Nigeria and Samoa to go ahead to at least help Nigeria warm up into the tournament proper. Now, New Zealand has lost to South Africa. Don't you think they would come with some double of their A game against Nigeria, and it just might spell major problems for the Yellow Greens of Nigeria? Or you think we have what it takes to match up the strength of New Zealand players?
Okay, so let me quickly say that the format of this year's competition, where we have 16 teams, we are going to get into a place called the Super 6 League stage. And that meant that 3 out of the 4 teams in each group will qualify for this level. So I expect that Nigeria, by virtue of our status and the kind of cricket we play, we will get a ticket to the Super 6. I have a belief in that, because I was thinking that if you are beating Samoa today, of course, that guarantees our qualification for the Super 6. Because from where I stand, while I understand that Nigeria are debutants and Samoa are also debutants, I see that Samoa team as the whipping team in that group. No disrespect to them, but with the caliber of players that Nigeria have, and you know what is working for us? Out of these players that went for the qualifiers in Rwanda in September of last year, 6 out of them were at the inaugural qualifiers that happened in Botswana, but Nigeria failed to get the ticket. So they already have national team experience, but they are within the age bracket. Case in point, Lucky Piety plays for the national team of Nigeria under coach Leke Oyede. Adekule Adeshola plays for the national team of Nigeria, but she's just 17 years of age. Peace Hussein plays for the national team of Nigeria. Christabel Chukwuonye plays for the national team of Nigeria. Pekulia Agboya plays for the national team. So we have about 8 players of the national team. And I look at our squad and the caliber of players that we have. Even if I know within myself that New Zealand are ranked higher than us, but you also know that in football sometimes ranking don't matter. We've seen a Central African Republic come to Nigeria to beat us in a football game. And you look at their ranking on FIFA and you look at our own ranking, you find that it's incomparable. And I have so much belief in that squad. When you have players like Victor Gunedion, who was the best batter at the qualifiers in Rwanda, Egwakun Omosigo, Naomi Meme, Adekule Adeshola, Captain Lucky Piety, Vice Captain Pekulia Agboya, Peace Hussein, Kehinde Amusa, Lilian Ude is just 17. She clocked 17 on the 3rd of January. This same Lilian Ude was among the top 11 players for year 2024 as far as associate countries are concerned. And you know, we have 3 types of countries that play cricket. The test playing countries, where you have the usual suspects, the South Africa, the West Indies, the Sri Lanka, the India, the Pakistan. We have associate countries where Nigeria falls. And you also have what we call the affiliate countries. So just imagine that Lilian Ude, a 17-year-old, the youngest in the army, was nominated. Then you want to say that Nigeria has a squad that can ruffle shoulders with this New Zealand team. And we have a slang in cricket. We always say, who they bowl, they bat, and who they bat, they bowl. And nobody can ever break his kids into 2 equal halves. Not even Pythagoras, one of the best mathematicians in the world. So we always say that cricket na biscuits because you don't know where it will break. So I have so much belief that this Nigerian team, despite not having a game time today, with the quality of players that we have in our squad, and with what I see of this New Zealand team that played today against South Africa, I think we'll not only give New Zealand a run for their money, we'll also give South Africa a run for their money.
All right, I'm hoping that we can give these other 2 heavyweights a run for their money and, of course, still qualification to the next phase or qualify for the Super 6, as you have rightly said. I would say thank you very much, Seun, for joining us. And, of course, the whole of Nigeria, we are supporting the Yellow Greens, the junior Yellow Greens, and hoping that they can go far in the tournament. And we always say that it's not about winning, it's about participation and learning something new in that tournament. It is their maiden tournament, a debut for them, and we just hope that they can represent well, and of course, I'm sure they will make Nigeria proud. Thank you very much, Seun Ajidagba, for joining us today on the show.
Thank you very much, Udoka. Once again, it's a pleasure joining you in the game, and I say Happy New Year to you once again, and Happy New Year to lovers of in the game across the globe. Thank you once again for the opportunity, and we hope that when next you give me a call, I will be talking about Nigeria giving great exploits at the Borneo Cricket Ground in Sarawak, Malaysia.